In a small town, a family of cats had a certain extraordinary obsession for ramen noodles. It was an extremely ordinary day when this grumpy gray cat sat at the table with a bowl of the hottest noodles you could ever think about. As he took a bite, the flames danced around his head in animation. His eyes watered, for stood on end, and yet his determination to finish the challenge was surely there. His face showed anger and sheer stubbornness, along with a tint of determination. And in the other room, there was a little kitten called Noodles playing joyfully in a giant bowl of noodles. The kitten lay amidst heaps of noodles, laughing and then sending them flying across the room, because the more messy and fun, the better. The noodles flew around the room, creating a playful pandemonium. Then, the camera panned out to show that the entire house was covered with noodles. They were spilling out of the windows and cascading down the walls. This house seemed to be taken over by a tsunami of noodles that told how much this feline family loved ramen. There was a plush cat mom, in pink, standing in the kitchen with her hands on her hips. She had on an expression of mild frustration and unbelief in the noodle disaster that hit their residence. Noodles were all over the floor, even on furniture. In other words, a noodle jungle was what was before them in the kitchen. Next up came the scene of an endless trail of noodles leading from the kitchen into the living room, the outcome of one of the cats accidentally cooking a ridiculously long strand of noodles that actually stretched through the house. The noodle trail wound around furniture and even looped around the banister of the stairs, showing the extent of their noodle fixation. In one of the more whimsical twists, the playful kitten Noodles was shown knitting with noodles. She had knitting needles stuck in the noodles and was fashioning a giant noodle scarf. It was an absurd and humorous moment that really drove home how everything in their world revolved around noodles. The other scene was of Noodles stirring an impossibly big pot of noodles with huge chopsticks. The pot was so huge that noodles were spilling out everywhere, and the scene was wonderfully chaotic to bring out the mischievous nature of a kitten. Suddenly, a light bulb appeared over Noodle's head. She had a brilliant noodle-related idea. Off she ran, excitedly, leaving the audience wondering what her next noodle adventure might be. The camera then cuts to a tranquil scene of Mom Cat, knitting on the couch, in a relaxed and contented attitude, which showed that Noodles had now become part of normality. The chaos had subsided, and the obsession with noodles remained. Finally, the video ended with the funny scene of one of the cats wide-eyed, drooling, sitting transfixed at a steam of noodles from a restaurant serving. Their love for noodles, if anything, was as strong, and nothing could come between them and their beloved ramen.
Like, subscribe and share with friends.